performance is Stree Shakti. Women empowerment and Stree Shakti are intricately linked as both focus on recognizing and harnessing the inherent strength and potential within women. Stree Shakti represents the divine feminine energy that empowers women to break societal constraints, claim their rights, and lead with confidence. The concept of Stree Shakti, the empowering force of women, is deeply embedded in the Indian knowledge system, where feminine energy is revered as both a creative and transformative power. From ancient scriptures to modern day philosophy, the Indian tradition recognizes the vital role women play in sustaining and enriching society. Through this performance today, we celebrate this divine energy that empowers women to break barriers, overcome challenges, and shape the world around them.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I rise.
Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room.
Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise.
Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries?
Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard.
You may shoot me with your eyes, you may cut me with your words, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise.
Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs?
Out of the hurts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise.
I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide. Wailing and swelling, I bear in the tide.
Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave.
I rise.
I rise.
I rise.
What an inspiring poem!
Yes, Maya Angelou's And Still I Rise.
The phenomenal black American woman who never hesitated to speak her mind. How I admire her!
The Western women are so emancipated, bold, fearless, outspoken. In short, the feminists.
Wait. It's very wrong to assume that feminism is a Western concept. When we look into the ancient Indian scriptures like the Vedas or the Upanishads, we find mentions of so many amazingly empowered women. They match the physical capabilities and intellect of men with such ease. They are no less than men.
Do you think there was no male-female division in the intellectual and academic in ancient India?
Well, what do you think?
If you read the Upanishads, you will see that there was no such division. Both males and females had knowledge of learning and education. Let us watch a brief enactment from the Upanishad.
Janaka, the king of Teha, or the Gyabra, who among all these Vedic scholars was the supreme Vedagya? Who has truly realized the Vedas? He made an announcement saying he wanted to gift 1,000 cows to that realized soul. Hearing this, Yajnavalkya ordered an inmate of his ashram to take away the cows. I bow down to the highest Vedic scholar But presently I need a few cow. Hence I am taking these with me. Jaratkara's son Artabhaga.
कतिक्रः कति अतिक्रः इति
Bhujyu, the son of Lajya. Bachefnur's daughter, Gargi.
इदं सर्वं यत् अप्सु ओतं च प्रोतं च कस्मिन्नु खलु आप ओताश्च प्रोताश्च वायो गार्गी गार्गी मा अति प्राक्ष्यः
Aruni, Udyalaka's son.
Revered Brahmins, please acknowledge this Brahmin's supreme knowledge and bow down before him. None among you can defeat him.
Sabhas, yagas, and receiving training from the masters. This must have been quite the norm. And did you notice at the end everyone agreed to Gargi's decision?
She is one among the many. It's just like our university seminar hall. Male and female scholars engaged in intellectual arguments.
See, this is ancient India. Now let us move to the epics.
Let's talk about Savitri next. The celebrated woman from our classical epic Mahabharata.
Savitri, the devoted wife who brought back her husband Satyavan from the clutches of Yamraj.
Well, that's just one reason why we should pay attention to her. Mahabharata has a number of powerful women characters, and Savitri is definitely one of them. But we will talk of female agency here. Do you know how she chose her husband Satyavan?
Yes, through the Swayamvara Pratha. But that was quite common in those days, right?
Unlike our modern times, where we have to appear before the group scrutiny to be selected, the woman had the agency to choose her husband from suitable candidates. It was the men who were under scrutiny.
But her father, instead of arranging a sabha, sent her out on an open run to select her husband. Notice she was not hidden behind the curtains of a palki, but in full view of everyone. There were a few untrusted mantris with her.
Quite revolutionary, wasn't it?
But the most important part is the conversation between Savitri and Yamraj after Satyavan died within a year of their marriage. Let's watch a brief enactment of Savitri's conversation with Yamraj. We will see how Savitri doesn't beg or doesn't plead. Instead, she wins over Yamraj with her sweet and persuasive words. Steadfast and strong, Savitri moves towards her goal.
Savitri, you have performed tapasya rigorously. That's why you have been able to see me. Now go back, go and perform the last rites of your husband.
People become friends by merely taking 7 steps together, and you and I have walked quite a long way together. I am asking you a question as a friend. How will I lead a truly holy life in this forest if my husband is not with me?
Your words have satisfied me. You can ask for anything except Satyavan's life.
My aged father-in-law is blind and has lost his kingdom. Will you restore my blind father-in-law's sight and his lost kingdom?
Granted, Savitri. Savitri, please stop here. You have to return now.
You are the one who maintains order in this world. That is the reason you are called Yama. I should always follow a great person like you.
As water is to a thirsty person, your words are to me, Savitri. Ask for anything except Satyavan's life.
My father has no sons. May he be blessed with 100 sons.
Granted, you have walked too far, Savitri. Now go back.
This is not far at all to me. After all, you are Vaibhaswata, the son of Surya Deva. You follow dharma in all you do. Hence, you are Dharmaraj. You inspire trust like no one else does.
Nobody has ever spoken to me as you do. Pray for anything except Satyavan's life.
Let me be the mother of 100 sons with Satyavan.
Granted, you will give birth to 100 strong sons. Now go back.
O revered, you have granted my wish out of your kindness and generosity. But how can I be a mother of 100 sons without a husband? I don't wish to live without Satyavan. Give me back my husband and your words will be true.
So be it, Savitri. I hereby release your husband from my bondage.
Savitri, a woman, wins over the powerful god of death, all through a determination, presence of mind.
What amazed me the most is her physical strength. I have read how she effortlessly carried her husband on one shoulder with an axe on one hand.
If this is not strength, what is?
This is perhaps the reason why Swami Vivekananda mentions Savitri when he speaks of the ideal Indian woman.
Another invaluable resource of ancient Indian knowledge are the Puranas. They are allegorical tales of gods and goddesses which teach us morals. Every Purana's end in the defeat of the evil and victory of the good.
Interestingly enough, the Puranas do not distinguish between the gods and the goddesses. They are both protagonists, powerful and complete in themselves. There are numerous incidents where the gods are seen bowing down before the goddesses, singing their praises and vice versa. One such episode is of Shiva, Sati and Daksha Yagya.
What brings you here at this unusual hour, Devi? Did you have something to say?
Noticed a number of chariots in the sky.
Yes, your father is performing a huge yagya. All the gods have been invited. They are going there.
No, not all gods. The god of all gods, Mahadev Shiva, has not been invited. I want to visit my father.
But you haven't been invited, Sati. You'll be insulted if you go there. Don't go.
My father needs to be reminded of few things. Shiv means benevolence. There can never be a yajna without Shiva. Any ritual that is not associated with goodness or benevolence cannot be permitted.
Sati, you'll not be able to tolerate my insult before other gods and goddesses. What if some harm comes upon you?
Harm? Upon me? Mahadev Shiva must have forgotten my real self.
We should notice Sati begins by bowing down, while Shiva, the all-powerful god and the husband, does not hesitate to acknowledge his wife's power as she reveals herself as Shakti.
We now move on to the next part. Sati, unable to bear her husband's insult, kills herself at the site of the yajna. The whole place is demolished by the furious followers of Shiv by performing a tandava. We see gods and goddesses complement each other. Together, they form a combining whole of benevolence and power, Shiva and Shakti. Only when the two unite, goodness descends upon earth. have the omnipotent Devi Durga, who is an assemblage of all the divine powers. When the gods united to fight the evil Mahishasur, what emanated was not a god, but a goddess of all the three spheres. The gods bowed down before her and acknowledged her as their savior.
The 10 arms with the 10 weapons of the goddess Mahishashur-mardini symbolizes multifaceted power and capabilities. Women have the ability to manage all kinds of situations inside or outside their homes efficiently. It is not a matter of physical prowess, but a combination of wit, power, knowledge, and strength of character, which empowers women to tide over all adversities.
That is why we celebrate womanhood and the power of women. Our final presentation, Durga Vandana, is our tribute to the Dasaprahara Dharini, Devi Durga, and through her to all empowered women.
ऐगिरि नन्दिनि नन्दित मेदिनि विश्व विनोदिनि नन्दनुते गिरिवर विन्ध्य शिरोधिनि वासिनि विष्णु विलासिनि जिष्णुनुते भगवति हेशिति कण्ठ कुटुम्बि भूरि कुटुम्बिनि भूरि कृते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते ऐ जगदम्ब मदम्ब कदम्ब वना प्रियवासिनि हासरते शिखरि शिरोमणि तुङ्ग हिमालय शृङ्गनिजालय मध्यगते मधु मधुरे कैटभभञ्जि हासरते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते जय जय जप्य जय जय शब्द परस्तुति तत्परि विश्वनुते झन झन झिञ्झिमि झिङ्कृतनूपुर झिञ्झित मोहित भूतपटे नटित नटार्ध नटी नटनायक नाटित नाट्य सुगानरते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनि रम्यकपर्दिनि